Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas has been arrested and is now facing federal charges for allegedly running an illegal gambling ring out of his San Fernando Valley home.
Arenas, along with several others, were arrested today. One of them, a suspected high-level member of an Israeli organized crime group. Arenas has already made his first court appearance, facing a judge this afternoon in downtown L.A. KTLA's Mary Beth McDade live in Encino with more. Mary Beth.
Yeah, and Mike and Sherry, as the hours wear on, I'm getting to read these court documents a little bit further. And so it appears that the illegal gaming up here at this Encino mansion began back in September 2021 and then came to a screeching halt the night of July 19th, 2022. That's when the feds raided this Encino mansion. And at the time, there were 26 high-stakes poker players inside, as well as a lot of staff that were made up of young women, chefs, valets, and security guards.
You're asking me, I'm telling you.
Former NBA All-Star turned podcaster Gilbert Arenas was allegedly running illegal high-stakes poker games out of his Encino mansion. Arenas, who the feds dubbed Agent Zero, and 7 others, including a suspected Israeli international crime boss and a West Hollywood lawyer, have been charged in a federal indictment. The former Washington Wizards player is accused of renting out his Encino mansion on Gable Drive for the illegal games, which were allegedly hosted by his co-conspirators. According to court documents, Arenas texted one of his co-conspirators this picture of a poker table in connection to the games, which allegedly took place from September 2021 to July 2022. A neighbor recalls seeing unusual activity and scantily clad women during that time frame.
Well, just mostly people coming out at all hours of the night. Usually I'd see women, though, coming out. Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning and taking off with whomever in a car down the street.
The alleged Israeli crime boss, Yevgeny Gershman, is accused of hiring young women who, in exchange for tips, served drinks, provided massages, and offered companionship to the poker players. The women were charged a tax, a percentage of their earnings from working the games.
The more people you have who are willing to engage in stuff that's illegal or high risk puts us all in certain situations that we don't want to be in.
Arenas and several of his co-defendants have been charged with 1 count of conspiracy to operate an illegal gambling business and 1 count of operating an illegal gambling business. Arenas was also charged with 1 count of making false statements to federal investigators. Yeah, he apparently told investigators that he didn't know what was going on up here at his Encino mansion. And we have learned that the mansion was sold a few years ago and now operates as a drug and alcohol rehab facility. For now, reporting live here in Encino, Mary Beth McDade. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Mary Beth, thank you.
Welcome to the No Pick Show, where there's no hand holding. We do with facts and emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So I'm going to cut to the chase. The NBA is in trouble. The NBA is in trouble. The NBA has a gambling problem. By now, I'm sure you've heard about Gilbert Arenas being arrested today. And now he's posted a $50,000 bond. He's free. He's joking about it on Twitter. And he seems to be having a cool time surrounding with everything happening, with all the news surrounding his recent arrest. But you don't really stop at Gilbert Arenas. For those of you who didn't know, Gilbert Arenas was arrested for allegedly, this is alleged, working in conjunction with the Israeli mob to host illegal poker games at his home. Gilbert Arenas is maintaining his innocence, and he's saying that he only rented the mansion to the Israeli mob. He had nothing to do with the games. That's what Gilbert Arenas is saying, right? But it doesn't really stop at Gilbert Arenas. Prior to Gilbert Arenas, you got Jonte Porter, who's been banned for life from the NBA. Guy who was betting on himself. You got Michael Beasley. That's you talk about fumbling a bag, bruh. You got Michael Beasley. What he was doing essentially was taking loans out against his upcoming contract earnings from, black market lenders and loan sharks. This is all alleged. And he was betting on himself in games and betting on other NBA games. So now he's kind of being frozen out from the NBA, which is crazy because he has to have a lot of debt right now. And also He was in line for a crazy payday from the Detroit Pistons. That money, of course, went to Duncan Robinson. Michael Beasley just played himself totally. But you got Marcus Morris, I believe, the Morris twin. He just got arrested. His mugshot's floating out there, and he's been denied bond for some type of illegal gambling at a casino. Mind you, Marcus Morris made over $100 million during his career. Over $100 million during his career, and he was currently working with ESPN. Come on, bro. Like, the money management is insane. I don't know if accountants were stealing. I don't know what's happening with that, right? You got Terry Rozier, who still hasn't been cleared from investigation pertaining to him gambling on himself. That actually happened during a New Orleans Pelicans game. That's one of the games people are pointing to and saying, yo, I'm telling you, something's up. You got to remember, the NBA has private eyes. They got snitches. They got people everywhere that's keeping tabs on these type of things. Now, one name, and I did a show about this a while back, one name that a lot of people haven't heard a lot about was Maverick Carter. Yeah, that Maverick Carter, LeBron homeboy Maverick Carter. He was investigated, and I believe he admitted to, allegedly, placing bets through illegal gambling houses on NBA games. Why this story was buried, I think you can put two and two together and figure out why. Now, the way the NBA going in sports in general, because you had Calvin Ridley with the Atlanta Falcons also, who's gambling on the NFL games. The way sports is heading and trending, and just as a society, sports betting and sports books have become a part of our culture, right? It just is what it is. Like, certain things are now a part of the culture. AAU basketball and NIL deals with colleges and sports betting for fans and players alike. A lot of these players, they not all making the big bucks. Now, the people I listed, all of them are making the big bucks or have made the big bucks. Maybe not Jonte Porter, but I think that's Michael Porter Jr.'s brother, if I'm not mistaken. So he got proximity to money, and you're in the NBA. But some of these guys, when you're making big money, you got big bills, you got debt, you're probably taking care of your family, you got a spouse, you know what I'm saying? You got things you want. You're competing with other high profile people. You got to live somewhere nice. You can't, live in squalor. You got to, do your thing. So I don't know what's happening with these dudes and their lifestyle to where they got to resort to this. Gambling is one thing. Gambling isn't the issue. Some of these dudes are literally betting on themselves. It's one thing to bet on yourself, but nigga, to bet on yourself, you out of control. You are out of control. This is wild. This is wild. This is some white man can't jump, Sidney Dean, Billy Hall type shit, and it's insane. And I think the NBA has a problem on its hands, and I wouldn't be shocked. All right, now with sponsorships from FanDuel and Underdog and DraftKings, etc., I don't think the NBA gonna turn down that money, but I think the NBA is going to make it to the point where it's totally prohibited for NBA players to gamble, period. I think they're gonna put that in the morality clauses in the contract. Well, look, you call gambling, you're out of here. Like, we just can't have this stain on the league. I know some people are going to point back to Michael Jordan and shit like that, but, and maybe even some stuff with Shaq. Shaq, he didn't get caught gambling, but Shaq had some off-the-court stuff happen. But Michael Jordan was gambling on poker and golf. He wasn't betting on himself in the flu game. Like, look, I'm going to tell everybody I got the flu, but really, I'm all right. It's just a little, my throat a little itchy, but I'm all right. I'm about to go out there and kill these motherfuckers. That's not what's happening. Right? You can talk about Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman wasn't betting on himself, saying, I'm about to go out there and get 23 rebounds. Well, shit, maybe he was. Maybe that's why he was such a good rebounder. But either way, the NBA has a problem, and I'm curious to see how they navigate, these stories. Are there less FanDuel commercials? Are there less DraftKings collaborations? What's going to happen? Leave your thoughts below. Do you think this is something that can be remedied, or you think the baby's already been born, the genie's out of the bottle, it's too late, the NBA just got to, deal with it the best way they can at this point. But that's been today's show. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Leave your thoughts below. I'm out. Peace.